Hi, my name is Penny Zenker, and I want to share with you today. I did an event earlier this week with a corporation, and we were really talking about how do you regain focus and block out distractions, with the type of pressure and stress that's going on right now. And there's distractions environmentally, emotionally, and also physically. And this has been the case before the pandemic. They're just amplified now. So we were talking about these in the session, and afterwards I got a couple of questions that I wanted to share with you and I wanted to share with everyone because I think they can be of value to everyone. And because there's a lot of overwhelm going on out there, and I want to help to give some strategies and tools about how people can address, some of how we approach things, so that because it's how we show up that makes most of the difference. And so let's talk about that. So one of the questions that came up was they said, you really challenged me to look at things differently and to change some of the habits of thinking instead of spinning my wheels and becoming overwhelmed. So, but the question was, well, how do I determine when is the time to approach a task differently versus asking for help? And so what I'd like to do is talk about those two different things and how they support one another and how they help you to be more productive and to get yourself out of overwhelm. So asking for help is huge, right? There's no shame in asking for help, and it's all in the way that you do it. How you ask for help is going to make all the difference in how it's received. So he said he came from an organization that wasn't open to asking for help and just wanted you to go away and do it yourself, despite how overwhelmed you felt. And that may be the case. It may also be what's perceived, but it also may be perceived that way because a lot of people go into their manager's or project manager's office and they dump with a problem. And then they want that person to fix it or take it away from them or just to give them a solution. And so, because it's true, when we're overwhelmed, that's the time when our brain shuts down, our problem-solving side of our brain, and we go into fight, flight, or freeze mode. So it's going to be important for you to gain these different perspectives and look at your tasks differently so that you can get out of overwhelm, because you want to get out of overwhelm before you ask for help. And you can do that simply by taking a step back. If you feel like you're spinning your wheels, then take a step back and take a look at, well, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? And, how could I be doing this differently? You could also identify that there's maybe someone in your office who you admire, or your boss, or even somebody outside of the organization. You could say, well, how would they look at this? If they were doing this task, how would they go about doing it? And how might that be different from the way that I'm looking at it? So these are some real simple little techniques to help you get out of your overwhelmed self in that moment and help you to get clear on what it is that you're doing. You might also just ask yourself a question that'll help you to break the pattern of overwhelm and say, what's next? What's the very next thing that I need to do that's going to add the most value? Simple question, but that can help you to let go of all the other things on your mind and that's on your checklist and so forth that's keeping you from thinking about and achieving the most important things. Ask yourself from a perspective, if I put this into like a priority matrix, how could I identify the things that are most important for me to focus on so that I can do those first? And then when you go to ask for help, you can say, hey, look, here's all the tasks and activities I have. Here's how I've prioritized things. Do you agree, right? That's a form of help, is asking, do they agree? So that they understand that some of the less important things may take longer to accomplish. When you go for help, you can also ask for clarity. Maybe you don't have clarity as to the outcome and why it is that you're doing what it is you're doing, because when you just know the task, you might not be able to do it as efficiently or effectively as when you know the outcome. And you can, and again, it's how you approach something or someone. Is I like to go and say, hey, look, I'm the kind of person who likes to see the big picture, and it helps me to more effectively do the task. Can you just tell me what's the bigger outcome that we're looking to achieve here? And, why are we doing this? What's the purpose? And when I understand that, then I'm able to be more engaged in what I'm doing. I'm able to block out distractions, and I'm able to find the best path to complete that task. So it's okay to ask for that information if you don't have it. You can also ask when you bring a particular outcome or deliverable, you can go and ask, well, would it be possible to break this up into 3 parts and deliver this part, which seems to be most important first, and then at the end to deliver these other parts? That's going to open up a lot of space for you, and you're bringing a possible solution to your project manager or your boss, something that they can agree or disagree, and they can let you know why not. And maybe that means that this needs to be done, but something else will be less important. But it's important to engage in the conversation, how you show up to ask that question, and also coming with solutions is really, really valuable. Let's see if there's anything else on my list here. Oh, and you can also ask them, if you don't have a criteria for creating some priorities, ask them to help you create a criteria list so that how do I evaluate the things that are most important? If it's client related, does that make it most important? If it's for the boss's boss, does that make it most important? So that you are able to, rank things so that you can get them done in the order of importance. And so that's just a couple tips. I hope that answers your question. And I just want you to understand that, it's so valuable for yourself to build those skills of getting out of overwhelm. And, and that's also using your body. One thing that I didn't mention is, make sure that if you're, feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, you feel heaviness in the chest or maybe a headache, don't continue to work. Get up and walk around, get a glass of water. Physiology is our quickest way to shift our mindset as well. So definitely engage in something like that and make sure that you're taking breaks often throughout the day. That's going to make you smarter. I swear it is. So anyway, those are just a couple tips for today. I want to get this out to you. Thank you for asking the questions. And anyone else has any questions, please email me at penny@pennieskeynote.com. And as I have the different questions come in, I will create a little video and answer those questions for you. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.